Brand new tactical shooter has been announced called Bellum, and it's being developed by a team of tactical shooter veterans, some of which came from projects such as Squad, Arma, and Ground Branch.
Oh, that's
And the
interesting.
studio
Yeah.
is being led by YouTuber KarmaCut, who you guys might know if you're fans of his Squad content, Arma content. He's a guy I know personally, and he's been around the space for as long as I can remember. They just dropped a trailer along with a small little announcement, kind of what Karma calls the yappening, where he explains why this game is being developed in the first place. And I think at this point, I'd rather just let him tell you in this video.
In recent years, tactical gaming has faced chronic stagnation. Studios have either moved on.
Yeah. We get a few games here and there. We got Squad, Hella Loose, Hella Loose. I can't really call them listed as tactical shooter. I don't think so. Oh, let me change this real fast. I forgot to change my But yeah, you can't really call enlisted tactical, but you got like a military FPS, but I don't know about tactical. Uh, Alright, so I was changing this real fast. Alright, so I know you really call enlisted tactical, it's military. Call of Duty, more military based than tactical. What were they?
Let development stall, or become
Uh, I guess you can call it. It depends. Like some games are just arcadey, some games are more tactical. Just depends on the game.
mere shadows of their former selves. Many of us, as fans,
Wait,
have watched
I
it
thought Infinity Sandstorm was still getting updates though. Let me see this. Uh, Doing game modes and stuff, but that's about it. Oh, dude, I've not played since this December. Oh my god. Of 2022.
frustration as the niche's progression ground to a halt, or even worse, regressed in some areas. As a creator of the genre, I've always stayed vigilant, constantly on the lookout for the next game that could reignite my passion and evolve the scene. But time and again, I've been met with
These new games
disappointment.
coming out, maybe?
After a decade immersed in this niche, I've grown tired of seeing games repeat the same mistakes or miss the mark entirely. I realized I had a choice. Either keep waiting for someone else to get it right, or take the initiative and bring my vision to life.
So a YouTuber is tired of the way the gaming industry is going and decided to
Who
just
isn't?
do it
Who
himself.
isn't tired?
Sound familiar? Now, the details of Bellum are still kind of scarce. We don't really know the full picture, but what we can grasp from their website is that the game is being built in Unreal Engine 5, utilizing Lumen and Nanite to create stunning and immersive environments set within Africa, with
That's
maps
nice
designed
and all,
to
but
empower
gameplay is king.
deliberate tactical decisions. Now, seeing as this is what the community is kind of based around, a lot of people are comparing this game to Squad and Arma, but on their website, they say that they're delivering a fresh gameplay loop. Discover dynamic new game modes tailored to the strengths of military first-person shooters. Players will be directed to exploit key intelligence, occupy strategic locations, and destroy specific targets in different areas of operation every single match. So we know it's PvP. We're not quite sure on the scale. My guess, knowing KarmaCut, we're probably looking at higher player counts. I'm talking like 64, maybe trying to push to 100 players, doing large scale.
What was Squad and Hella Loose? Dude, those games, you have like a lot of people on each team. Let's see. Let's see. Hella Loose team count. 50v50. That's not too bad. How about what was the other game? Squad. What is it? People per team. I have no idea. It doesn't even say. I see 45, but I don't know. I see how many people in the no. Oh, never mind. It was so annoying.
Operations, and my guess, again, being a fan of his content, we're going to see multi-stage objective gameplay where you have to take over multiple points. Again, they say exploit key intelligence. So maybe you go to one location, get intelligence, move to the next one while the other players are trying to defend. Think of like AAS on Squad, but most likely with the potential to maybe be a little bit more random. I'm guessing we're going to see a fresh spin on something that we've seen in other games before.
Squad inspired.
They also talk about innovative features, combining lessons learned from veterans of the genre, as well as veterans of real-world special ops units. Bellum introduces new purposeful mechanics to the genre. Features include a sophisticated medical system, comprehensive command and control systems, crew-served weapons, and advanced electronic warfare capabilities. Scrolling through the comments and watching the conversation take place on socials, I want to say that the response has been overwhelmingly positive, simply because I'm a fan of Karma, and I always love when YouTubers are jumping into the fold and just saying, fuck the establishment, we're going to do it ourselves. And putting together a studio like this is no small task.
Big Fire also is
like,
making
I have to say,
games.
looking at some of the people that are involved in this project, it's incredibly impressive to me what Karma has been able to do. That being said, there is a lot of cynicism with this announcement from what I'm seeing online. With the questions being asked, like, what is going to make this game end up any different than all of these other titles that we've covered that have seemingly just kind of fallen off the radar? And you know, you look at the Hell Let Looses or the Squads or the Insurgencies who now have large publishers coming in, changing things, taking over development. Like, what's going to make...
So, that's what happened with Insurgency Sandstorm, and that's why they're in the ground right now. They got a publisher, which was... Who were they again? I don't remember who they were, but they shut down a lot of studios, and the studio behind Insurgency Sandstorm also got shut down apparently.
Make this different than an Operation Hardstyle.
It was like a while, it was like a year
which
ago,
has been struggling to gain a
half.
player base since it was released a couple of years ago. What's gonna make this one different? And I have to say, I actually
the player base always falls off.
Not necessarily concerned, but the question still
I think
remains, like, what makes you different?
Player base pretty well, maybe Squad as well, but other than that, they mostly fall off.
Can guess what the vision is going to be. I fully believe that they're going to execute on the game itself. But the question is, it's honestly not even really a question for Karma Cut, because I think everything they're doing is pretty much exactly what you need to do. If you want to do it yourself, get people together who are talented and put something out there. The question I have for the community is, like, do you guys actually...
It's a YouTuber made game, I believe. It's in the description. Yeah. It's kind of like Squad, it looks like. They have the whole Discord, they have everything set up here. Gameplay trailers. Built in MO5. Not trailers, but what's it doing? Yeah, Bellum. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Actually care.
Yeah,
can
it was
this
just
game do
we just got done playing a few games.
Granted, we don't know anything, but can it do enough for you to pull you away from a game like Squad, from a game like Arma, where you're putting in a lot of your time? And I'm sure that's going to be easily answered once we get more information.
It's really hard to get into Arma.
Just announcing, hey, I've been working on this. Here you
I
go.
tried to.
I would have loved to see a little bit more behind the scenes with this announcement, just because I'm a geek like that. I want to know all of the people that are working on it. What are they doing? Where are you guys currently at in development? They say they've been working on this for, I believe, a couple of years now. I want to see where you guys are at in development, but I also understand, dude.
I am so skeptical because how much stuff
no matter
YouTubers
what you
promote
put out,
and
you're
going
to get roasted.
Scams,
There's
whatever
going to be
the
people
case
that are
is.
just fucking picking it
So
apart
I'll believe it when I see it. When I see gameplay or I have my hands on the gameplay, I will believe it.
Even if you're not like putting a date on it, nothing. There's going to be criticism, and I mean, he's already starting to see that conversation now. And Karma put out a post shortly after this video went out where he basically said, like, it's been a long journey to release this teaser And I know many of you feel the same way I do when a new tactical shooter
Yeah,
is
that's
announced.
good,
That
but
instant cynicism.
you
That
gotta say
instant,
about
oh,
you gotta
Lord,
say
here
about
we
other
go.
games
Another one
that
that's
came
going to be a
out.
flash in the
Oh, yeah,
pan
it's
and
supposed to
fuck
come out.
off. And he
We'll
says
see.
that feeling is
We'll see.
exactly why I feel
I hope
compelled to
it's
bring
good.
my dream game,
If it's
and
good,
hopefully yours as well,
new game for me to play.
to life. Now, I spoke with Karmacut a little bit in private before this announcement went out. I actually just found out about this project a couple of weeks ago, and I said to him in private, just to be completely transparent, I said, making your dream game as your first title out the gate creates so much pressure on you. And that is my concern.
A lot of devs do that. They try to make the dream game, and the problem doing that is, like, your first game especially, you try to make your dream game, you really don't have the experience. Well, unless you look in if you look beforehand, you probably do have experience. But let's say you straight out, you don't know what you're doing yet, and you try to make your dream game, really passionate about it. You're gonna hit barriers because you have not yet got that far yet in development. You don't know what you're doing yet. As someone that developed a few things in the past, not really major things, more like cartoonish games. About say about 6-7 years ago, something like that. I can say it's hard. It's hard stuff. I made a 2D shooting game, and that thing was hard to make. Like, even by itself, I got like 10 levels in, and I say, okay, I gotta stop.
Is that, like, you're throwing everything at this game when you haven't even decided to walk yet. Like, this is your crawling.
You need to walk before
you
can
guys
run,
are starting
especially
to
with game
sprint.
development.
I'm not saying you guys can't pull it off. You clearly have a bunch of talented people on board here, but that is a concern of mine as well. Regardless, though, I think that there's something very noble and just very inspiring about watching.
I think are they closing that down? They've been talking about that for years now.
To become YouTubers, to turn that into a career, and then take the next step when they're tired of talking about the problems in the industry, and then they go and create something themselves. You know, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of where Operation Harsh Doorstop is right now, Blue Drake is
I heard about
that
one
game,
too.
and his
I
team
tried
is building
playing
that game
it.
out of complete
For me.
passion for what they're doing, and they fully believe in the vision of creating a game that isn't owned by a corporation, that is completely community driven. And there's something incredibly inspiring about that, even if you're not a fan of the game itself. And I think Bellum is a prime example of that inspiring mindset that YouTubers are now starting to, like, there's so many YouTubers now starting to get interested in jumping into the game development field, because we see the trends.
I think it's
we
more
know
of a
what our
social
communities
game,
want,
to be honest.
And this is just fucking awesome. Level Cap is another one who has jumped into the game development.
You spend like 50 minutes in the game and you don't even do anything.
He's starting a little bit on the crawl before you walk. He's creating a isometric space game, and it's actually shaping up incredibly well.
Fun.
Transience is our project that we've been working on for the
past
past
this is the game I was talking about he's making.
and we have so many good things happening behind the scenes that I can't wait to talk to you guys about in the
I remember
future.
playing his demo.
This is definitely becoming a more common trend.
Starfield?
And I'm all here for it.
I played that.
I fully believe, as much as I...
how many hours do I have in Starfield? Oh, man. I have about 40 hours in about 40 hours in Starfield. Yeah,
critique and shit on very, very bad games. I fully believe that every single person has the right to download the tools and build something and put it out there.
Still didn't beat the game.
What we end up with is a shitload of trash, right? We get a bunch of early access asset flips that clearly aren't ever going to be finished, and they're asking you, absorbent amounts of money for it, and it's not worth it. I don't think
when you have to make your own assets for your game, and then you have to code all those assets and make them all work together, you're literally backtracking all that because you have to make sure they look good. Oh, a pixel's off. You have to go back, redesign the whole thing, or edit it, whatever, render it. It's a lot of work to do this.
Is going to be that. I don't quite know.
I think this game might be a little bit mediocre
if it's going to early access. What I don't want to see here, and this is just personally me, I don't want to see them go the Kickstarter route. I don't want to see fucking crowdfunding.
If they go Kickstarter, I'm not
If they
playing.
go Patreon, which my guess is that's what's going to happen here. Again, no insider information.
Yeah, it's
Karma Cut has been
Unreal
incredibly
Engine
tight-lipped
5,
about this whole
so
thing.
it looks a little
I don't know
nice,
what their
but
monetization strategy is going to be.
a nice looking game
I do
does
know
not
they
make a
have
good
quite a few
game.
people working at the studio. I don't know if Karma Cut is funding this himself or if he's got financial backing. We don't even know the situation. What I don't want to see is a Kickstarter project or an
I haven't seen the
Indiegogo. If
Sonic
they go the
trailer.
Patreon route, I think as long as they're transparent and upfront about what they're delivering, I think
I didn't know they had a
Patreon
trailer
could
for
work
Black Ops 6
for a
Zombies.
project like this. The reason we didn't want to go to Patreon is because when you go that route, people expect playtesting. They expect early access to the game to help you bug fix and test. And in a single player project, it's very tough to have playtesters and guys to come in and test it because it's a lot of story elements being thrown out and we don't want to spoil anything. But in this case, because it's large scale PvP,
I wonder
you're
when
going to
Big
need to
Fight
stress
Games has
test
to come
servers.
out.
You're
You've
going
been
to need
working
to
on that for a
stress test
couple
the
years now.
balancing. You're going to need people in there outside of the studio, and Patreon might be a good way to do it. I'm curious now, we're halfway through 2024. I'm curious to see how receptive people are going to be to a Patreon for a game like this. We've watched things like Direct Contact come out.
There's been so many examples of people getting scammed from doing Patreon and Kickstarters for games. I don't trust any of it anymore.
And just completely fall on its face with the developer doing some incredibly questionable things during the launch period of that game. Operation Harsh Doorstop did a Patreon. I actually think they still have a Patreon, and they were incredibly
I'm not saying
successful
all
with
games
it.
fail, but
So
a
I'm
lot of
curious to
games
see how
do
this
fail
project is going to shape
when they
up.
do
But at the end of the
Patreons
day,
and,
if I can give you any advice,
Kickstarters.
Karma Cut, and there's a lot of things I could probably give you some insight on. It seems like you guys have been working on this for a while, so you've probably learned a lot already. All I'm going to say, man, is now that the project is out there and people can look at even this 1.5 minute teaser announcement trailer, you're going to have a lot of noise. You're going to have a lot of people reaching out. They're going to be asking you to play test. They're going to be giving you, what they want to see in the game. Stay true to your vision.
Actually,
Don't
let's
let
look
the
at
internet
the Black Ops
influence
6
you
Zombies
one way or
as
the
this
other.
video.
If
We're
you
gonna look at
have an idea and you have a plan of attack to get this game out there, don't let people sway your decisions. Obviously, it's nice to get feedback, but one of the biggest things as a project lead is you have to discern what is actual feedback for the sake of bettering the product as a whole and what is feedback based on what that player's personal preferences are, and you have to weed through that. You're also going to have a lot of negativity. The tactical space is incredibly ruthless. If one of your animations doesn't have
anything FPS competitive, anything is going to be ruthless. They're going to be toxic. You can't fix it. Don't even attempt to fix it. Just leave it alone.
the finger directly
You
off
try
of the
fixing
trigger,
it, you look like
you're
the
going
enemy.
to hear about it. You're going to get emailed about it. You're kind of going to get probably at your level, you're probably going to get some borderline harassment level emails and messages.
That brings up so many memories of Battlefield 2042 harassment to the devs. It was bad. It was so bad. They got harassed into the ground is how bad that launch was. It was awful.
About
You can't fix
little
toxicity
mistake
in
that you
FPS
make.
speed. Don't even
Curate
try it.
everything that you put out, which is why
If your game comes
a lot
out
of people
bad,
always
you will
ask
get
me, like, hey,
crapped
when's the
on
next
by the
Transients
community.
devlog?
That's how
When's
it
the
goes.
next devlog? When's the next? When are we getting more information? Communicating with the internet, even the ones with great intentions, it sucks. But communicating with the internet is one of the worst things that a game developer can do. This is one thing that I have completely 180 switched on since I started development of my own project. I always want to get more information on games. I always want to know what's going on behind
Every
the
game
scenes.
is
I always want
different.
to know where the
Everybody's
developers
different.
at in
They all have different
development.
opinions.
I totally understand why they don't put things out at the pace that gamers want them to. Because once they do, and once it's out there, you will get every fucking person under the sun telling you why it's good, telling you why it sucks, and telling you why you should kill yourself. So I guess to sum it all up, Karma, good luck on the project. This is me just speaking directly to you and the team.
What all happens.
Do everything in your power to enjoy the
Doesn't
ride,
matter what game it
because
is.
you guys are creating something that a lot of people don't even have the full picture of, but are going to want to judge. Stay true to yourselves and fucking kill it. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think of Bellum down below. Are you excited about the prospect of another YouTuber-led project? Are you kind of...
Well, that's pretty much done. But Yeah, really good video about so YouTuber based game. We've seen this before. It's failed many times, so we'll see what happens with this. I won't be surprised if this fails, but I would like for it not to fail.